My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC Vegas 30, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Tanner Boser versus Ovince St. Preux. Ovince St. Preux, his second outing at heavyweight. He is 3-2 in his last 5, alternating wins and losses. So we already know Jacob's pick. He's coming off of a loss. Tanner Boser, 2-3 in his last 5, coming off of 2 losses in a row. He just lost 2 weeks ago to Ilir Latifi. So this is a quick turnaround. And if you've seen any interviews with him, he's very aware how he looked in his last outing and is very all aboard the I need to win this fight to save my career train. That does make this a little more interesting. Not that fighters think they can lose a fight, but the fact that, he's very open about this is not an option for me, I have to win, is interesting. Ovince St. Preux, very dynamic, a ton of tools, big, strong guy. He is a light heavyweight, but this is his second outing at heavyweight. His first one was against Ben Rothwell. And honestly, I thought he looked good in that fight. He just needed a little more output, but he was landing when he wanted to land, moving when he needed to move. He just wasn't as busy as he should have been, but I thought he could have won that fight if he turned up the gas just a little bit. He hits very hard. He's also hot and cold on his record, and we've seen that with the alternating wins and losses, but he does hit hard. He's a dynamic striker. And I just love Ovince St. Preux. I just, in every fight he's in, I think he's going to win. I think he's super live. He's very dynamic. And then I watch the fights, and it's just do more. Why are you just sitting? Do more. You're right there. You have the opportunity. You're landing every time you throw. Why aren't you throwing more? So he is frustrating to watch. And Tanner Boser is fun to watch, but he has not been performing the way he needs to. The loss to Latifi was not a good look. That was not a good look in that fight. He's been, as I mentioned, very open in those interviews that he needs to win this fight. I think Tanner Boser comes in here, brings the pressure, puts it on Ovince St. Preux, but I'm hoping that forward pressure and sort of the weirdness in some of his style brings out the volume in OSP, and OSP wins this fight. I do have a money line bet on him at plus odds. He has more ways to win, and all you need from him is volume. If he does have the output, he wins the fights. His issue is when he just picks shots and moves and doesn't put it out there, that's when he gets into some trouble. So I'm hoping Tanner's forward pressure brings it out of Ovince St. Preux. I hope Ovince St. Preux wins this fight. I put a bet on it. Dan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think Ovince St. Preux is going to win this fight. I mean, I do think, listen, Ovince St. Preux is good. He's won a lot of fights where I don't think he necessarily should have won. But, you had mentioned him in heavyweight earlier and you thought he looked good. Okay, I thought he looked okay, but what I also thought was he looked slow. And like you said, didn't do enough. Tanner Boser's a legit heavyweight, and I think he's one of the faster heavyweights in the division in terms of striking. He's going to be in and out. He's going to be picking them apart. He's not going to be, like Ovince St. Preux lands big shots when guys come at him aggressively, and he can kind of wait for that big counter shot, right? I think Tanner Boser is going to be in and out, picking shots, playing it safe, and probably coasting to a decision. The other thing I think that OSP doesn't do, and it drove me crazy his last fight, is, he was fighting basically a guy that was a pure striker, and he just sat there and took shots. He didn't even try to shoot a takedown. So, you had said he has skills everywhere. I would agree for the most part, but where I don't think he has skills is pure wrestling. He never really goes for takedowns. And I think in this fight, to be honest, he's going to get picked apart by Tanner Boser, who's a legit heavyweight that moves like call it a middleweight, and Ovince St. Preux a light heavyweight that moves like a super heavyweight sometimes. So um, I think Tanner Boser is the side here. I don't know if I'm going to put him in DraftKings because I do think it will be a bit of a point fighting contest. So I think he will win a decision. $8,300 isn't that cheap. So, but I like him to win a decision victory in this fight.
All right. I'm surprised at that pick. I think we both picked OSP in the Ben Rothwell fight. I could be wrong, but I thought we both had him.
I picked him last fight against Jamahil. I forget his last name. But I was like, oh, all he's got to do is get it to the ground, and then he sat there and he did all right the first round striking, and then he just literally took shots against the cage and just waited for the ref to stop instead of even attempting a takedown. So,
well, and that Ben Rothwell, just a reminder, that was a split decision. So he did look good. And when I say look good, I mean he fought the biggest, lurchiest guy in the division and got off the strikes and did what he was supposed to do. He just didn't do much. Slow is a perfect word for him.
Ben Rothwell has, I think I'm going to coin my own term here. Ben Rothwell has split decision pace written all over him. Every fight, it's like, all right, we're going to make this ugly. I'm going to hug you a lot and get a little bit more out of it. But yeah, fighting Ben Rothwell and losing a split decision is kind of like Ben Rothwell does that really well, right? He's going to make you work. He's going to make you slow.
It's just enough.
Yeah.
Jakey boy, you keep looking at your TV to watch a stupid basketball game. We're not here for that. We're here for this. What's your pick?
I have no idea. I have no idea who's going to win this fight. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I hope OSP wins. I like OSP. Nothing against Tanner Boser, but I think this is going to be a perfect co-main event to the main event because these are going to be more of a brawling, sloppy type of fight where the main event is going to be very technical. Could be slow pace. I think this one's going to get a little wild at times. So I honestly have no idea who wins this fight. If you want to put either one of these guys in your DraftKings lineup, more power to you. I would stay away from both guys, but I hope OSP wins, so he'll be my pick in this fight.
All right, well, 2 OSP picks, one with logic, one with heart, and then Danny Boy going with Tanner Boser. The strike line, I think, I think more because I think Tanner Boser is definitely busier. Ovince has a low line because he doesn't have a ton of volume, but 32 is a very low line. As I mentioned, I'm hoping Tanner's volume and forward pressure drags it out of Ovince, so it'll bring some more volume there. So I like more.
And I'll tell you too, another monkey knife fight. It's not just UFC guys; it's NBA. And right now, I have a 5x5 going to hit $150. That's all hitting right now. 5 minutes left in the game. So there's plenty of sports you can play on there, including MMA. So play around and enjoy monkey knife fight for sure. It's a lot of fun.
You got anything on Bet Online? I got my brother on Bet Online. He's
I have
doing
a
live
future
bets on NBA games
well,
right now.
the best bet I've ever made was a future bet online for the Colts. I think it's 20-1 odds to win the AFC. Carson Wentz, baby. We're coming.
Well, either way, playmcaf.com/weonpicks for monkey knife fights and weonpicks.com/bets for Bet Online. Grab one of those options. Let us know. We'll send you some money.